Right, I'm going to hit him with an ad straight away. Jericho Australia, jerichoaustralia.com, DOS. How's my beard looking?
Looking good, actually.
Thank you. You're on my good side, though. There's no gap.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's your right side
Yeah,
that
cover it with a pop
struggles a
shield.
bit.
There now.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
There's a little alopecia spot.
But that's probably because I just haven't been using enough Jericho Australia products on that one spot, right?
That would be it. Yeah, sorry. I just need
just distracted by your phone?
I need to log into my own internet because Muscle Cat Media is struggling a little bit out here.
Yeah, budget cuts. But look, Jericho Australia, I mean, if you have a beard or you want a beard, DOS, you want a beard?
Well,
Christmas beard. Like a playoff beard.
I've thought about a summer holiday, summer vacation
you look good with
beard.
a beard.
I don't know if
How long are you having off work, Dos?
3 weeks.
That's enough to grow a decent beard.
3 weeks.
But
it gets all itchy at the start.
What we need, though.
Right, so I'll need that oil.
Yes, the beard oil.
That initial growth, because you sort of go past that 2-3 day phase. You get to day 5, 6,
That's
7.
when many men bail out.
Yeah, because it gets itchy.
You got to push through.
Women might want a beard as well, Curt.
I'm going to stick with men.
Yeah, okay, fair.
But with the oil and the beard butter, will that just help with that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it helps with everything.
Okay.
My life has been better since I've used Jericho Australia. I don't know about you guys, but you've noticed a rise in my countenance, but it's been good.
What fragrance is in your beard oil? Are you still going with the peppermint one?
The peppermint is the shampoo.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
Reinvigorates me in the morning after, getting up at 4:30 a.m. It's tough.
Oh, yeah.
But then I've just got the natural beard oil.
And then you go throw some tin around down at
your
gym.
Yep.
Tin.
Didn't today, but...
Well, yeah, you're not looking quite as swole as you normally do.
I haven't been for a week. I hurt my neck. I hurt my neck.
Oh, yeah, the neck gate.
Extra large T-shirt on. It's not
He
quite
does
filling
have
it
his
out
own-
like usual.
He does have his
All
own
right, this didn't have to turn
on.
into a comment on my body. It's a comment on my beard. Thanks to Jericho Australia. You all good? Let's get into it.
Sweet.
Here we are on a Monday, Muscle Cat Studios. It's Chris Hall, the QB2. It's Matthew Maidment, the QB1. It's Curtis DeBoy, the QB3. Week 14 review is underway. DOS, another dramatic morning of Red Zone. The slate didn't look that good, but there was some pretty good entertainment in the morning. And then it concluded with yet another Kansas City escape from jail. I mean, there's just people lighting up the DMs, I'm sure. You're copping all sorts of abuse, even though you don't go for the Chiefs, just people venting their frustration. Is that a fair reflection of the mood amongst our supporters today?
Fair reflection, Curt, on your Chiefs. Once again, annoyingly winning on a walk-off field goal. And
why is it annoying?
Oh, I've had enough of the Chiefs already. Have you had enough of the Chiefs winning, Paulie? Or winning in this fashion?
I'm not too fussed because I don't think that winning in this fashion... I don't think they can keep going through playoffs. They can't come up against good teams and keep winning like that.
That's what everyone said last year.
The number one seed.
But they weren't doing this last year. They weren't winning. Every win this year is for some kind of luck is involved.
One score
ridiculous.
game.
Yeah.
Make your own luck. That's what Harvey Dent says.
10-0 in one score games this year. Most
I know,
ever
it's extraordinary.
to this point of the season.
It's just, we mentioned it earlier in the year, but it's that Vikings of last year where they were doing a similar thing. They were winning a lot of one-score games.
Yeah, but the Vikings didn't have the Super Bowl pedigree behind them.
Yep.
I think there's a difference with a battle-hardened team that knows how to win in playoffs. I mean, the Chiefs, yes, this is slightly different to previous years, and we'll get into it later, but they have shown in the last few years that even when they're not at their best in the regular season, they still find an extra gear in playoffs. So
it feels like they just don't have the oomph like they have in previous years. They don't have the oomph to keep up with like a Lions or a Buffalo come playoffs. But
Did you see the rookie tight end who was making his debut today? He got a pass in the first drive, dropped it, and then he just got hooked.
Yeah, didn't see him again after that.
He was fourth on the depth chart, and we'll never see him again. His name will be erased from history forever. Like when Bill Belichick had a running back that fumbled, you'd never see him again. Dos, I just want to check in on you, make sure you're all right. You didn't invest all your life savings in the Tuah coin that crashed on the weekend, did you?
No, I didn't actually.
No, you weren't part of that scandal?
It was real hot early though.
Very hot early, yeah. That's what happens with these things.
$950 million market cap.
I was wondering whether you'd be following it.
I wasn't following. I just saw it on the news. I don't follow Bitcoin.
Yeah, I went down the rabbit hole with the Tuah coin today. Thankfully, didn't invest. Muscle Cat Media doesn't need any more financial trouble, so that was another bullet dodged. But yeah, you're good, Dos. Just invested half your life savings.
It wasn't the Sabrina coin; it was the Tuah coin. So Sabrina coin. Sabrina coin. He's selling the house. It was done and dusted.
You get a little Spotify Wrapped, if Sabrina was your top artist, which she was mine, you get a little personal message come through.
From
Really?
Sabrina.
Yeah.
What?
What did it say?
Oh, I'll show it to you after. You can see it.
Can't play it on the show.
Oh, I can play it if you want.
That
but
personal, was it?
everyone else can.
Does
That
Jess-
had her as
does
number
Jess-
one would obviously get it
Does
as well.
Jess know about this message?
Yeah, I showed Jess.
Okay, whatever you guys want to do.
Impressive.
All right, we got the Scrap Heap games. We've got 4 Scrap Heap games to get
Yeah,
into.
yeah.
Actually, before I get into that, though, we do have something to clear up with Hawley, Dos, don't we? Because he
Do we?
talked to us on the weekend. He sent us, 3-minute long convoluted audio messages?
Yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, yesterday, about whether he was sort of recognised but sort of not. Hawley, can you clear up? I mean, Dos is 2-0 up on all of us with being recognised in public. Can you clear up?
Yeah.
Were you recognised or not? I'm still confused.
I met someone in when I was over in Kansas City with
Right.
my mate Reedy. We
Patrick.
met Patrick
Mahomes.
Travis. I met Travis.
Oh, Travis, yeah.
And he came to Adelaide, recognised me.
Yeah.
I met someone in Kansas City. Anyway, I was at breakfast with my uncle and my sister and her husband and my sister or my nephew. Rudy.
Too many characters already.
Too many people.
Yeah.
I was at breakfast with 3 of my family or 3 relatives. Anyway, I was getting up to leave, and then this girl comes flying over, and she says, "Oh, hi, do you remember me from Kansas City?" And I had no idea who she was. And she said something about the Super Bowl, and I said, "I didn't go to the Super Bowl. I'd have been in Kansas City, but might not have been me." Anyway, I was as awkward as anything because I was just nervous and I didn't know what had happened. It came to the point where she said she didn't remember my name. I didn't remember her name. She kind of recognized me, but the main side of realizing that it was me was because I was wearing an Outback quarterback t-shirt.
Aha.
And when I was at
The global brand.
There it is.
and when we're at the tin shed or tin roof or whatever it was called,
What's
I
that,
was-
a pub?
it's a pub in Kansas City.
Right.
I was telling everyone that I was obviously everywhere in America. I was forcing them to follow the podcast on Instagram and explaining what had gone on and who we were and everything like that. So then I figured, didn't know my name.
Yep.
I didn't know her name. We chatted in Kansas City at this pub for like half an hour because she was randomly from Adelaide and that was that. The only way she recognized me was through Outback quarterback.
There you go.
Does that count, Dos?
She doesn't follow the podcast though.
So
It's not an organic recognize, is it?
It's not really. It's like that might be him, and then yeah, it is because of the Outback quarter. It's
Yeah.
like recognizing a sports day. It's like, is that Travis Kelce? And then you realize he's wearing a Kansas City top, and you're like, it is Travis Kelce.
Yeah, but it's a bit different because you had met previously.
That's
So
a good
and
point.
then she
I haven't
recognized you
met
from
Travis
meeting. It
Kelce.
wasn't like she follows the pod and then
Yeah.
your famous face was. I don't think it counts. It's close.
I had a pretty bad haircut in Kansas City though.
Did you?
Would have been pretty tough to recognize me. It was like real short,
Whereas now looks.
pretty handsome.
Yeah, well, the Boise State hat looks good.
Boise
So,
State,
yeah.
Mountain West champions, DOS, bang.
there it is.
All
Three,
right.
3 seed? Are
Should
we
we-
3 seed or 4 seed?
I think I can check for you.
check
Anyway,
for
top
it.
top 4
Should we
seed.
give him a half
Bye,
recognized for that, or is it a 0?
No, he's been recognised. Well, recognised the
Yeah,
pod.
but we've all been recognized by people we know. He sort of knew this girl.
Well, she didn't know my name. I didn't know her name. I spoke
I mean,
to her.
Kathy recognized me today. Do we count that?
I
No.
spoke to her for about 30 minutes.
That's a
Really, I spoke to her about
rubbish
30 minutes in
comparison.
Kansas City. I feel like it's worth a half point.
All right, email in podcast@outbackqb.com. Does that count as at least a half point of being recognized as Hawley from the Outback QB pod? Let's get into the games. All right, boys, we've got 4 scrap heap games to get through today because whilst it was entertaining, there was some trash.
You had 4. There could easily be about 6 in this.
Yeah, but you skew negative, Dos.
No, all right. We only had a couple last week,
Well, that's right.
by memory. So,
The
anyway,
Jags and the Titans. Now, if anyone argues about this being in the scrap heap, then I will retire.
Ryan Thomas Jr. was good.
Well, yeah, he did nothing in the first half. Then he just loaded up on fantasy points in the second for everyone who was complaining. Look, if there ever was a scrap heap game, it's this. The Jags 10, Titans 6. They're both 3-10 now. No touchdowns through the fourth quarter. And even that was an uninspiring rush by Tank Bigsby, who now I guess is the RB1 in Jacksonville. Who
I
knows?
don't think it matters who is anything in Jacksonville or Tennessee at the moment.
That whole thing's going to be cleaned out next year, I think. Both teams on 3 wins, like I said. The Jags end a 5-game losing streak. And those who thought Will Levis would get another year because he's pretty good are now a little less sure. Tony Pollard, as usual, the only guy doing anything for Tennessee. 124 scrimmage yards. And Hawley, I told you last week that Mac Jones is not back. Okay,
Oh,
2
that's
picks, he was
right.
terrible.
He might be back next week.
Yeah, out of necessity, not because he's actually
Well,
back.
Trevor's on IR, so he will be back next week. He'll be there for the rest of the
But it's like
season.
roll out
as in
CJ
as in
Beathard again.
Back, as in Mac is back, as in playing well.
Oh, okay, you can keep riding that train. Raiders and Bucs. The Bucs win at 28-13. The Bucs are 7-6. Raiders 2-11. Now, this was a hugely important win for the Bucs, who, with Atlanta's loss, take a game lead in the NFC South, just as we all predicted a number of weeks ago. But it wasn't all roses for Tampa. Baker had 2 interceptions and a fumble loss to go with his 3 touchdowns. Luckily for him, though, Aiden O'Connell barely gave a whimper at the other end after the best game of his career last week against the Chiefs. He got injured, O'Connell. Ritter then came on and was just as uninspiring, although he didn't turn it over.
Curt's boy, Desmond.
Desi Ritter.
Just because I had him in fantasy once 4 years ago. He's my boy.
All of my boys are guys I've never even supported. Cortland Sutton,
Yeah,
like
but
Teddy Bridgewater. Come on,
Cortland
guys.
Sutton is a top 10 wide receiver. You would be well advised to just stay the course with
I
Cortland
can't
Sutton.
believe you jumped off now after all those years of
You
supporting
also
him.
jumped off Jerry Judy too. That's a.
Hey, I hold Jerry in both. I hold Jerry in a lot of
No,
fantasy
he
teams.
didn't jump off Jerry.
No.
He said earlier in the year that Jerry was having a good year, and that
And
was an
you
upside
guys-
for the Browns when he was terrible. He
You
had like
guys
30
scoffed
yards.
at me, and now he's one of the best. Well,
Yeah,
his
yeah.
last
But then
6 weeks.
The week later, you came back and you said, "Oh, that was a ridiculous call, wasn't
Yeah,
it?"
I
And the
did.
week after that, he started dominating.
Yeah, well,
There you got there at the end.
I told you, I'm in Europe. I'm miles ahead of everyone else.
You are indeed.
From Europe. Bucky.
Bucky injured
Yeah,
back.
well, I was
Yeah.
going to say injured back, re-aggravated at running back. Rashad White, though, he stepped up while Bucky was out. 2 touchdowns for him. And Jalen McMillan, rookie wide receiver, scored 2 TDs as well. But Bucky's a concern because he's their spark, isn't he? So
He is their spark. It's surprising if he went into the game with a
Yeah.
little bit of a sore back, and that because backs lead to hammies, and they have a good running back room in. Like White's a pretty decent back in himself, so
would you risk that against the Raiders?
I probably wouldn't have.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Come on, Todd. Another injury chalked up to Todd Bowles, is it, Doss? What's that, 4 and counting?
I know. There's a lot this year. Mike Evans looked good though. How is his hurdle? Just looks prime.
Well, at least his hammy's
Catch
all
and
right.
go. Yeah, he's coming good. Kate Otten again showing up.
Ready for 70.
Another one of Hawley's boys. The Steelers 27 beat the Browns 14. Steelers are 10-3. The Browns 3-10. It was a bit of a struggle early for Pittsburgh, but the Browns never really seriously challenged them in a slightly dour affair. Russell Wilson threw 2 nice touchdowns, including a nice little underhanded throw. Only 58 yards though. Jameis provided his usual quota, 2 touchdowns to go with 2 picks. And the Browns, Doss, they couldn't sweep Pittsburgh. They beat them earlier in the year. They couldn't do it this time. How long has it been since they swept Pittsburgh in a year?
I think it was the late 80s. They haven't won in Pittsburgh for 21 years. I know that.
And they haven't swept them since 1988.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
So,
Cam
I
Hayward.
knew it was a long time.
had
Before
a-
I was born. There you go.
There you go.
Well,
There you
all
go.
of us, actually.
Yeah. Wow. And we're pretty old now.
Yeah. Well, I just turned 35, so.
Speaking of old, speaking of being
birthday,
35, Cam Hayward. Oh, yeah, happy birthday. Cam Hayward, 2 more sacks. His nice year. He's got 8 total. The Steelers, another gritty win. They didn't have George Pickens, though. Hawley,
No,
I heard he was out. He hurt his mouth with all that yapping during the week. No, he did a hammy, I think. Was it a hammy? Yeah, it was a hammy.
I think it was
Awareness.
a little heavy.
Awareness, yeah.
Little tweak.
Yeah.
Couldn't get through pre-game warm-ups.
Do you guys remember Kadarius Toney?
Brick hands.
Yep. He was activated from the practice squad with the Browns this week after months in the wilderness. First thing he does is drops a punt, gets recovered by the Steelers. See you later, KT.
And
We'll see you another team.
that was the end of the game. I mean, Browns probably weren't going to come back and win, but it was Winston-like to have that. You know, what they have like 2.5 left on the clock.
Yeah. it was
Winston would
something.
go out, he'd throw a TD in a minute.
Yep.
That's just what he'd do, and then he'd throw an interception if they get the ball back. But still, Kadarius.
Alex Highsmith back in for Pittsburgh. Looked good.
Nice.
Again. TJ Watt, good again. Just the Steelers defense. Revenge from the snow game.
It's all
2
coming
weeks
together,
ago.
Dust. It's all coming together.
Revenge, snow game revenge.
Might boost that reel again, Hawley. Keep it pumping. Keep
I
it
didn't
rolling.
realize that they were actually paying 6-1.
Who?
I'm winning the Steelers.
For the Super Bowl.
No, not for the Super
Nah,
Bowl.
it'd be division.
Just their division.
Okay.
Yeah.
6-1 for the division.
6-1
When you
for
put
the
money on.
division. Yeah.
Well done.
Look at a tidy little sum.
Oh, there you go.
Also, is someone not wearing shoes?
Hey?
No, I
Smells
got,
like socks in here.
No, it's yogurt. It's my bowl of yogurt.
I got shoes on.
Where's the yogurt?
Yeah, behind you on the table.
Oh, is that what it smells
Yeah,
like?
Woolworths brand protein yogurt. It's not the
Oh,
greatest
Smells like
stench.
well, don't buy that. It smells like socks, guys.
Good to know. Saints 14, Giants 11.
Taking my breath away.
Saints are 5-8. The Giants are 2-11.
Talk about another poop factor game.
All right, good. Socks poop, guys. This is meant to be a clean show. Goodness
Oh.
me.
We're
So-
clean. Paulie and I are clean.
Well, something's not clean. You can smell it.
I've got my shoes on. It's the yogurt.
Is the bowl clean?
I literally just had it. Turn around and
so,
look at it.
like I said, something's not clean. I can smell it.
Put it in the fridge that's turned off over there.
I might grab a warm drink out of it. Oh, wow.
Hey, stop the music.
We're in trouble.
Go on, fire it up again.
Like teacher's about to tell me off.
Saints Giants. Let's talk about Drew Lock and Derek Carr.
Why? What's the point? Derek Carr went off injured. Drew Lock sucks. Let's go.
Saints 14, Giants 11. The Saints 5-8, the Giants 2-11. We have a duty to get through every game. Sometimes, unfortunately. But the second-year Saints pass rusher, Brian Brazidos, he hurdled a row of blockers. He got a thumb on Graham Gano's.
He's good.
He is. Short field goal attempt, causing it to fall short, winning the game for New Orleans. The Giants got nothing going early. He started 0-8, Drew Lock. 0 from 8 he started. But even when he started to find some momentum, he was picked off late by Demario Davis, I should say. 21 of 49, Drew Lock. That's Anthony Richardson numbers, but they just kept throwing the ball.
3 votes.
Because they didn't want to give it to Tyrod Toilet.
Toilet. You gotta feel sorry for Brian though.
Brian.
The field goal.
Brian Dable.
Finally, like, yeah, we're going to OT. Got in a good spot, and then I felt sorry for him.
Yeah, I don't really feel sorry for him. What was I going to say? Oh, Derek Carr. He fractured his hand, Dos.
Yeah, it'll be season ending now.
Done. Did you see Darren Rizzi? The interim
Lay
head
into
coach?
Matt Hable.
Yeah. And did
Australian
you notice
punter.
how on the telecast they then, about 5 minutes later, told a story about how Darren Rizzi used to protect kids from bullies at school? Like, just to balance it out. It's like, okay, we've seen him absolutely abusing the hell out of a punter. We need to balance this. I think Rizzi must know someone
It's
in
a
the
real
commentary box.
sideline. He really fired
What could he
up.
possibly have been that mad about?
I believe it was a missed assignment which caused the touchdown return that ended up being a penalty. Getting called
The
back.
punter was out of position in the return.
Didn't make the tackle or out of position.
Oh,
So he
punter
punted-
tackle let down.
Punted
so.
and then punted, walked to the sideline, and then realised he had to get back. Don't know exactly.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think it was on that play.
We go to you for these facts stuff.
I know, but Saints Giants I didn't pay much attention
It's on
to
the
today.
It's on the scrap heap
probably a
after
fair
all.
point.
The scrap heap.
Well, Darren Rizzi is 3-1 as interim head coach. You're right, Hawley. That yogurt does stink.
Yeah,
Does stink,
like
doesn't
socks.
it? Okay. Non-scrap heap. Jets 26. They went down to the Dolphins 32. We can take a little more time on this one, just slow it down. 6-7 the Dolphins are now. The Jets are dismal 3-10 boys. That's extraordinary. They continue to scrap and scrape the Dolphins to keep their season alive, and they do it this time with an overtime win against New York. Jonnu Smith sealing it with the touchdown. He's had a good year. I know he was quiet after that today, but he has been clutch this year. It was another strong one for Tuah, 331 yards, 2 TDs, while Aaron Rodgers went 329 and 1. His first 300-plus yard game in 35 games. 2021 was the last time he did it. That was obviously the Packers. Tyreek Hill, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams all went over 100 yards, and the kickers were a perfect 8-8, highlighted by Jason Myers, 57-yarder and a 52-yarder to get it to overtime. Dos, the Dolphins keep hanging on.
You mean Jason Sanders?
Jason Sanders. Myers is the Seattle kicker, isn't it? I even had Sanders written here.
Yep.
That's what I meant.
Nice win by Miami in the end on offense.
There's still a
Tuah
chance.
was pretty good.
He was good.
He was good on that last drive to set up the game-tying field goal, and then he was very good in overtime on that game-winning drive there too. Well, it was pretty good last week against Green Bay, to be fair. It was just that their defense was horrible, and their defense really wasn't that good again today against the Jets. So, 6-7. They're a couple of wins still away. They're not going to make playoffs.
Well, they have to go 4-0, and they Texans next week's. The Niners look like they're back in form. They haven't got a tough draw.
Nah, but they've got to rely on other teams to lose.
Well, if they end up 10-7, you'd probably back them to grab a wild card spot.
Well, they're currently a 15% chance to make it, but they just keep
and
hanging
bounce straight out.
They
week
should
one.
beat Browns and Jets. Texans next week, 50-50. Then 49ers. Not sure what we're going to get, but
How's the playoff picture? From the AFC, the Browns, Jags, Jets, Titans, Patriots, and Raiders have all been eliminated. In the NFC, it's just the Giants. Just by themselves. Panthers still in it. Less than 1% chance of making it, but they're still in it somehow. Any more on this Miami game? We don't seem very chuffed with this. It was quite entertaining. Like it was actually good to see Rodgers make some throws. Adams have a connection.
The problem that the Jets face now, if Rodgers has a couple of games like this, it's good enough to hold him over for next year. I think they need him to bail out now. They need him to just suck so they can say, all right, you're done.
Have some guts, have some balls, and just make the decision if you don't want him. Why would they hold on for
because
two
he'll come
good games?
out, if he comes out and, the next, they got less 4 games, if he throws the 300 yards each game, they win a game or two, has a couple of TDs here and there and looks tidy, then you kind of think, all right, let's keep him from next year. Then he did show a bit as the
That'd
season.
be so Jets.
It
They're
would-
3-10.
It would be. So that's why they need the decision to be taken out of their hands.
Because they
need-
can't be trusted.
They need Rodgers to suck, and then there's no way that you can keep Aaron Rodgers, or God forbid he gets injured again, but do an ACL or something and just call it quits.
They probably.
I don't want him to
praying
get
for that
injured, but
internally.
it might be the best thing for everyone.
Will you be watching Enigma, the Netflix documentary on?
No, I won't be.
Why not?
No way.
Is your
Why?
boy?
What are you more sick of?
That's enough.
Aaron Rodgers or Kansas City winning?
If you could take one of them out of the NFL, what would it be? Who would it be? What or who?
Just the Chiefs out completely.
Chiefs or Aaron
Gee,
Rodgers?
you guys are bad losers.
well, no.
I'm not against the Chiefs winning. I think their luck is going to run out. I'm
Yeah.
fine with them winning. I just don't think that they can continue
It's the way that
winning
the
like
Chiefs
this.
are winning that's frustrating. I've had enough of this era of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
This last 4 or 5 years, it's even the last couple of seasons in Green Bay. I was sort of
You were off
Right.
him towards the end, weren't you?
yeah.
He was. They missed Sauce Gardner today, the Jets.
It's like a true
They did.
bandwagoner.
Brees
Not
Hall
going
didn't-
well, jump off your quarterback.
Brees Hall didn't play either. No, but this is Miami though. They beat teams that are 2-win, 3-win, or teams that are under 500. They look good down in Miami. It's when they have to play against teams that are in playoff contention or have a winning record that they struggle. But the Dolphins now with Tuah at quarterback and 5-4 on the season, and he went at 70% completion day, highest completion percentage rate in the league.
Yeah.
Tua
Before the
currently.
day he was on track to beat Drew Brees' record, he's now sitting third. So he's got to have an
His
accurate
couple
game
of
next
percent
week.
he dropped because I think he was sitting at like 73.
I think
Is
it's
that
higher.
right?
I think it's like 77, 78.
Or was that okay?
I think so. Actually, I have to.
It might have
double-check
dropped
that.
a bit because
It did drop ever so slightly today.
70% today. But yeah, he makes Mike McDaniel's system work. He makes the offense work. So
Oh, it's working for them. You do it. And DJ Reed had a bad day. He got
Penalties.
beaten. Yeah, penalties everywhere. Yeah, he was a bit of a mess without Sauce on the other side. The Falcons and the Vikings. Now this was an entertaining game to watch. 42-21. The Vikings won it. They're 11-2. The Falcons 6-7. It was a 7-touchdown net difference, boys, between the Vikings' new quarterback and their old quarterback because Sam Darnold threw 5 scores. Kirk Cousins got picked off twice and didn't throw one. That's 0 touchdowns and 8 interceptions in Kirk's last 4 games. And the first part of Hawley's gutsy call is looking pretty good. We'll talk about Penix and that
think-
possibility in just a second.
Yeah.
You were
In a
going to say it
second or
then, were
now?
you?
I think it's time that
It has to happen.
they
now, doesn't
move
it?
on.
It's been 5 weeks of real time since Kirk's done a touchdown.
Kirk's, without going through his stats too closely, I think he's only really had 2 really good games this year. They were both very, very good games.
they're
They were
both against Tampa. No.
Yeah, everyone has a good game against Tampa because it's just a shootout. But other than that, he's not really delivering a lot. Atlanta put a lot into him. This was supposed to be the year. They've got all these other weapons, and Kirk was supposed to be the guy that pulled it all together, and he's not.
So I can't figure out
Well,
now
this
whether
year and
they.
next year.
I can't figure out whether they are geniuses or idiots because they've got Cousins and Penix. So the Penix thing now they do have a backup that they can use, but are they now just idiots for going for Cousins in the first place? But we didn't criticize them for going for Cousins. We criticized them for going for Penix. So
Or did they just see something at the start of the year, pre-draft, and thought, man, maybe Kirk's not who we thought he was going to be. Let's take a quarterback just in case.
what could they have seen in April?
Practice.
Awkward dinner. They
But
thought
you're
this
only
guy-
just doing like walkthroughs really at that
yeah.
time of year. You're not sort of.
'Cause
And he was literally walking. He was coming back from a
Yeah,
Achilles.
because it was such an odd draft choice, and now it's looking like, thank gosh, they took Michael Penix because otherwise they'd be taking a quarterback in this year's draft, and it would be like a mid pick. It wouldn't be a real early first rounder.
Most interceptions for Cousins in his career single season so far, 15. Raheem Morris post game though said that he will be their quarterback going forward, Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
And you have a look at their run; they do have some fairly winnable games.
So he's backing him to get back into form.
He is, and he made the quote that he played significantly better than last week, which I thought was funny after he threw 4 picks last week. So
Well, you'd hope so. I mean, he did throw 300 odd yards today, but
344. He had 23 of
But
37.
it just the way he throws just seems
It
to
looks
me it looks
slow.
like in slow motion. They
It
look like
does.
how I would throw it, just lob passes that would just get picked off by corners and safeties for fun.
Especially if I'm your tight end.
We'd have to go back. We'd have to
slow.
go back and watch some earlier Kirk Cousins to see if he had real nice penetration, or he's always been more of just a. It's like he's just placing the ball where he needs to place it, and it will get there.
Yeah, this does look different.
It looks slow.
It looks
doesn't
like
it?
he doesn't have the power in his feet to sort of like push off and drive. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, Curtis. I'm sort of
No.
pushing off with my foot there and messing up your wires.
No, it's all good. No, good mechanics. Tutorial there, Dos. No, look, the Atlanta season's slipping away. I think it's almost gone now with Tampa's run home. But the Vikings are flying. That's 6 in a row for them. Jordan Addison had a breakout game today. 3 touchdowns on 133 yards.
It was a good day to be a wide receiver today. Darnell Mooney, 142. Ray McLeod obviously had the fumble and the kickoff return, but 98 yards.
Jefferson, 130 odd and 2 touchdowns. So they were huge. It's the first time that Sam Darnold's thrown 5 in a game.
It is. And the first time a Vikings quarterback has done that since Dante Culpepper.
I was going to say Culpepper, but just because I love saying that name.
Yeah, back in 2004. 20 years.
D-Culp.
Which is good. And then you look at the opposite side of it is that Cousins is now first starting quarterback with 0 passing touchdowns and 8 or more interceptions in a 4-game span since Big Ben Roethlisberger in 05-06.
When he was...
They love it, just a random stat for everything.
You can find it. You can find it.
Oh, yeah. But the Atlanta...
You know, Dos, you're the first podcaster to say that at the 26 and a bit minute mark of an episode.
There you go.
That's an ESPN
On
stat
the
for you.
9th of
Kirk-
December.
Yeah,
Kirk,
correct.
I think Kirk
Next
was,
gen
is
stats.
Kirk is probably the first quarterback to throw that many interceptions, but also have his first name, the first letter of his first name, and the last letter of his first name be the same letter.
Wait, say that again. The first letter of his
First letter of his first name.
I thought
Last letter of his first name is K.
Yeah.
It sounds better in my head. I need to explain that a little bit nicer. It would have been funny if I.
You know what? I was going to
Save
go in
that
with my
for-
own initials one then, but then seeing how hard it was to articulate, I'm going to bail out of that. I had one to do with like Kansas City and Kirk Cousins because they're both KC, but now I'm not going to say it.
Cut that out the last minute or so if you like.
I'm not cutting it out.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Last thing on Atlanta, their defense, boys, they can just give up way too many big plays, and opposition quarterbacks are averaging a 72% completion rate against Atlanta. That's the highest in the league. And they all have also given up the most passing touchdowns this season.
What's Jesse Bates doing?
Not very good, is it?
He is not having the season that he's not having an all-pro season
Need some help.
that we thought he would have like last year.
All right, that's the first block of games. We'll be back in a sec. We've got Would You Rather. What about this song? Yeah, there we go. That's a good Would You Rather song. Keep it light and fresh.
Yeah, okay.
Favorite
Is this the old
segment, Holly?
Kurt's Corner. Been used on a few segments, I think.
It
this
has.
one.
Oh, it's a classic.
This is not only my favorite segment, but this has been my favorite show
Why?
because there was no prep needed.
Well, not for you.
Because we just talk about the games and then it's Would You Rather.
Yeah.
I can't prep for Would You Rather. In the games where I've watched the game, so I've memorized all my notes.
Do you prep for the game reviews, Dos?
Oh, I got some notes here, yeah.
Some notes.
Yeah, that's why I rely on you guys having notes, and I'll just.
It doesn't show.
Oh, I had to get something on Dante Culpepper.
Oh,
Come
D.
on,
Culp,
gotta
yeah.
bring him in.
How many D Culp notes have you got over there, Holly?
I don't even have Microsoft Word open this week. 'Cause
Do you remember the time? It was early in the pod when his computer wasn't working, and I went around to his side to help him with something. There was one line.
One line,
And it
yeah.
was just the date.
no, it wasn't the date.
Wasn't it?
What was
Wasn't
it?
it? I thought it was a game or like Garrett Wilson.
It
like,
was like
It was just someone's name written down. Yeah.
No, it was like, I don't know. Do you think Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback? And it's like, yes, I do. That was my note.
Kirk, yes,
Kirk,
good.
yes, something like that.
But also
That's
the
all I
other
needed.
astonishing thing is that it was in Pages on Mac, and he's the only person in the world I've ever seen that's opened a document with the black background and white writing.
Well, I didn't
That's
know-
such a
that
sadistic move.
But that just changes on my computer. I don't know how to change that. But, and also, that was towards the end of the episodes, or the show, so I deleted everything I'd already.
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course.
The thousands of words of notes.
All right, would you rather?
Okay,
Let's
go.
start with some QBs, and let's start with a name that's generating some momentum. Bryce Young or JJ McCarthy?
Oh, Bryce.
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young or Caleb Williams? I knew that'd stump you straight.
Yeah, that is stumping us. Man, I want to say Bryce because he's coming good. I think you'd probably have to roll with Caleb at the moment. He's shown more. But he's sucking as well. Like their record's terrible.
Who?
Caleb.
Oh, last 2 weeks has been awful.
Let's not forget Carolina's record either.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I think roll with Caleb for the minute. Hey, mate, give it another 2 weeks and I might change my mind to Bryce.
That's the beauty of Would You Rather. Brock Purdy or CJ Stroud?
Man, you're asking us 50-50s here.
That's the entire point of the segment.
I'll roll with Brock because CJ has fallen off quite a bit in my view.
I'm going to stay with Brock Purdy.
And because of the contract situation. Brock's still cheaper at the minute.
Ooh, look at that. A little bit of contract.
Brock's
back.
cheaper at the minute.
Just at the moment.
Only for another couple more months. He signs the
this
biggest
is
when he
$60
signs the
million
biggest
contract.
contract. Yeah.
This is a here and now segment. Kyler Murray or Baker Mayfield? You know I've pitched these well when there's just silence.
Yeah.
after I ask them. Doss, you lead us off.
Baker's got heart.
I think it's
Yeah,
Baker.
come
I think
on.
it's
Baker's got
Baker.
heart.
I think Baker's more loved.
I mean, Farlap's like taking Farlap.
Kyler's been awful since the bye.
Since we talked him up, he's been
Yeah.
very poor.
Matt Stafford or Russell Wilson?
Russ.
Matt Stafford.
Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson?
Josh Allen.
At the moment, it has to be Josh, doesn't it?
Last QB, Jaden Daniels or Bo Nix?
Oh,
Jaden Daniel.
they're genuinely 50. Like their stats are.
You win
identical.
either way. Doesn't.
You're not losing. I'll take Jaden because he showed what he's capable of that first month or so of absolute eliteness.
All right, Doss, this is for you. This is a coach one. Sean McVay or Dan Campbell?
Dan? You take Dan?
Well, I'm going to go McVay because he's won a Super Bowl.
Dan's... I'd take Dan.
Because he's responded to your under
I
pressure.
put him
call,
under
hasn't
pressure and he's listened to the podcast and like, you know what, Hawley? Stuff you. I'll
Yeah.
show
I
you.
love Dan Campbell.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no other coach in the league that would have gone for it on fourth down.
But
So,
Sean, we wrote Sean off. Everyone wrote Sean off after the Super Bowl and lost
Yeah.
so many guys. And he's like, no, I'm a pretty good coach. I'm still got some good
they're
players.
rebuilding and just finding talent.
Yeah.
That's-
Doss, would you rather cop a spray from Darren Rizzi or John Harbaugh?
Oh.
John's a bit
Well,
interesting.
I'm going to say I'd rather Rizzy because he's only an interim and he'll be out soon.
And
so the spray wouldn't count.
So I'll be
You
like,
could
whatever.
destroy his career from the
I'll
inside.
be, my theory is,
Why
well,
don't
you're
you-
here for 4 more weeks and then you're not here anymore.
Your end of season
Harbaugh's won a
interview.
Super Bowl.
That's a great
They
answer.
talk about you getting sprayed and you'd be like, yeah, I think we're getting rid of him. The spray wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't.
Matthew White, Ant Maidman. Love it. Chris Collinsworth or Greg Olson?
Well, I like Olsen because of his analysis more. Collinsworth for humour.
I like Greg.
Pick
I like
one,
the-
pick
I
one,
like the
Doss. Don't give us
ex-players.
a positive about both.
Oh, well,
Recent ex-players.
Greg Olsen.
Kyron Williams or Derrick Henry?
Derrick Henry.
But for like this year,
Right now.
Doesn't matter.
I'm taking Derek, man.
Isaiah Pacheco or James Cook?
James Cook.
I'm not.
Although he cost you a
Yeah, I
little
love
bit in
Cook,
fantasy,
but
though.
mate, he's had. I don't think he's had over 40 yards like twice in the last 7 weeks on the ground. But reception wise, he's quite effective. Apart from today, I'll take Cookie. I'll still take Jimmy.
J.K. Dobbins' knees or Kadarius Toney's hands?
I'm taking the knees because there's potential that they could be fixed.
Whereas
You
the
can't
hands,
fix
the
those
hands,
hands.
are-
Hands
the
can't
hands
be
are stuffed. That's just talent that can't be fixed. Lack thereof. Whereas J.K. Dobbins has proven when he's healthy he can play.
Does it hurt you even more that Kadarius Toney has contributed meaningfully in a Super Bowl win for the Chiefs?
Mate, if they win again. Oh no, he doesn't play for the
He's
Chiefs
not
anymore.
there.
Sorry.
They'll probably bring him back. They bring back everyone. Bring back Juju.
Cleveland,
Christmas
mate.
or the Super Bowl, Doss?
Ooh.
You get to have Christmas
Got two
with your
kids.
family
He's got
and your
two kids.
and watch them enjoy unwrapping
Yeah,
presents.
but he also gets to go to the Suburban Brew on Super
Well,
Bowl day.
with
so.
you boys for the
Yeah.
Christmas.
Paulie?
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl or NFL Draft?
Super Bowl. Talk about fantasy drafts. That's different
Okay.
because I'm taking fantasy drafts every day of the week.
Are you doing weeklies, are you? Oh,
Fantasy
sorry. I
drafts.
thought you
No,
literally meant
I'd-
you're doing them
Oh
every day
no
of the
no
week.
no no! I would take them.
Day-
for Super
dailies.
Bowl.
I go draft over Super Bowl.
You would?
You don't
Yeah.
even
Well,
do.
'cause
You
it's
don't
got
even,
every
oh,
team.
the actual NFL draft,
Yeah.
not fantasy draft.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Every
Something
team's
special
in.
about the draft. Lad McConkey or Malik Neighbours?
Oh, I'm taking Malik.
Doss.
Oh, he's been good. Nah, I'm going with Lad. I bet Lad all season.
Xavier Leggett or Quinton Johnston?
Sorry. Swap Malik and Lad. Swap their teams. And do you think Lad's putting up the numbers he's putting up? Would he put up Malik's numbers in New York?
I reckon he'd come close.
You reckon?
Yeah. I think he's pretty darn good.
Okay.
Leggett or Johnston? Xavier Leggett, Quinton Johnston.
Xavier cost him the game today twice. 2 separate plays.
Quentin Johnson had a good game. He was
He
all right
did.
today.
Yeah, I wrote
And
this
he made
before
a
his
big
game.
catch.
Then I saw his good performance.
So I'm
going to
go Quentin Johnson.
Quentin's doing a Bryce Young.
All right, Keon Coleman or Quentin Johnston?
Keon Coleman's still out injured.
Yeah.
He didn't play today. Keon Coleman's been good this year. I like Coleman.
I'm slowly leaning towards Quentin Johnson not being a bust.
Okay. Couple more. A few more. Amon-Ra St. Brown or Puka Nacua?
Probably Puka. Amon-Ra has had 2 big games this year. He's been over 100 yards 3 times this year, and that's it.
All right, I got 3 to go. Bill Vinovich or Ed Hoculai? Bill Vinovich, congratulations on 300 games today in Sunday Night Football.
Bill, he was all right today. It annoyed me a bit. There was one. Nah, he was all right.
You taking Bill or Ed Hoculai?
Nah, Vinovich.
Yeah, good. Juan Soto or Han Solo?
One Soto.
What was his contract, Dos?
15 years, 735 million or
I
something.
think it was 755.
Oh,
56
750.
or 65?
765. 765 mil. That's his contract.
Over 15 years, though.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's pathetic. Yeah.
Old mate's
when you
got,
say it like that, Hawley, it's not
Old
much
mate's
money.
got 10 for 700, so...
Still, it's the biggest contract in sporting history. Last one, Dos. This is only for you.
Oh, great.
Would you rather get recognised at the beach or in the city?
I've got one for Dos.
What was more memorable?
Wow.
Did you have the rig out at the beach?
Beach, because
Did you have the rig out in the city?
No.
Would you rather
Yeah.
the blue tick on Instagram, the Outback quarterback, something that you've longed for,
Well, I've gone off that a little
Or-
bit.
Because you can purchase it now.
Yeah.
or
not-
dinner with Sabrina Carpenter for a night?
Oh.
No. You're a married man.
Just
don't you answer
dinner.
that,
It's
Dos?
just dinner. He's not doing it. He's just having dinner with her.
I'm putting a stop to this nonsense. What's your answer, Dos?
He just shut it down.
He was about to say Sabrina.
Well, look, the blue ticks lost all integrity because remember when I got excited a couple of
You
months
can
ago?
pay for it.
Yeah. I got excited and I sent you that screenshot because it said I literally got a big message from Instagram saying you are now, Outback QB is now eligible for the blue tick. I was like, oh, lads, we've made it. We've finally got the blue tick. And they said, all you need to do is pay monthly installments of this much. I'm like, you absolute swindlers.
How do you become eligible for it?
Pay them. I think everyone's eligible, to be honest.
Interesting.
Yeah, you're going to get
I reckon,
I'm not. No.
I don't know. You'd probably have to do a certain amount of
Posts,
posts
or
and reels
followers
and-
or interaction.
Yeah.
spend a certain amount on ads before they
Well,
let you
that's-
buy the
maybe.
tick. Who
Oh, we
knows?
did that at Adelaide Oval.
That's right.
We did.
The
$27
boost, the infamous
$27.
boost. $27 well spent. Let's get into a few more games. You referred to it before. The game that Xavier Legette lost for the Panthers, pretty much. Eagles and Panthers in Philadelphia, 22-16. Philadelphia won it. They're 11-2, boys. The Panthers 3-10, but I feel like they deserve better. A random gambler placed $3 million on this game, Hawley.
Yeah.
$3 million and faced a $440,000 win only. The Eagles won it. And he would have been very, very nervous when Bryce Young produced yet another fantastic late game drive, which had the ball sailing to a wide open Xavier Legette, who would score to put the Panthers in front if only he didn't drop it to the turf. Heartbreak for Bryce and Carolina.
It was a bit of a tough catch, bit of a diving catch.
He had to take it.
but
He's by
you're still
himself.
an NFL wide receiver. It's what you do. It's
It's
your
more the
job.
technique that
Yeah, he needed to take it, and he dropped
Didn't
one
get under
earlier on in the drive for a first down, which hit him in the chest.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. And
Well
he's been okay this year, but that
was
was a
well
bad
defended,
bad
but-
moment.
I also caught one on that same drive on that 3rd and 2 scramble for 31 yards.
Well, he needs to. They've got what? Who else to catch the ball? Thielen.
Adam Thielen
oh, he's been great.
had a great season.
Yes, they've got Adam Thielen.
Tell you what, that
That's what was my point.
that play by Bryce Young which was basically at the start, it was 3rd and 11 on his own 2-yard line, and he's running around in the back of
That
the
was
end zone
unbelievable.
trying to find
Yeah.
anything to avoid a safety, and he hit Legette on the sideline for that 31-yard conversion to keep the drive alive. That's the
That's
best
on Bryce,
play
though,
I've-
not Legette.
No, but that's the best play I've seen Bryce Young
Yeah.
have in the NFL.
Agreed.
Well, that was almost
Agreed.
similar to his TD he threw last week when he was on the run, got out of the pocket on the run. I can't remember did he throw it to Thielen? I think we were
Yes,
texting
he
about
did.
it.
Yeah.
On the run, bang, nice little dime. And you're like, that's cool, calm, and collected. That looks like a nice quarterback, someone who's
Yeah.
comfortable in the pocket, comfortable out of the pocket. And it seems to be working. But the Panthers are turning into the Chiefs, but the opposite Chiefs. Because the last 3 weeks they've lost by field goal, 6 points, and each game they've been very, very close to winning them. Whereas the Chiefs somehow, they've been unlucky to lose them.
Okay.
Whereas the Chiefs are somehow, luckily winning games.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, it's red zone mistakes that it cost Carolina, as it has in all of those games, Hawley, that
Bit of polish.
you've mentioned. Yeah, they're earning respect with honourable losses, I think is a good way.
I think that's a very good way of putting it. It was relief for the Eagles too.
They weren't good at all
They
today.
weren't good. Jalen Hurts didn't look even that happy with the win, and fair enough because they weren't that good. Saquon Barkley is still on track, just for the record. At the moment, he had 124 yards on the ground today. He is 17 ahead if he keeps doing what he's doing. He'll get it by 17, so it's very, very close. A couple of other notes, other struggles, Dos. Jake Elliott, kicker for Philadelphia, he missed from 52 today. Last year, he was 7 of 8 from 50 plus.
Yeah.
This year is 0 and 5. Has not made one out of 5. So that's a problem for them. And for the Panthers, Chuba Hubbard went over 1,000 yards. He's only the 6th Panther to do it, and CMC and D'Angelo Williams have done it twice. So nice company for Chuba to be in.
You always forget CMC was at Carolina for
Yep.
quite
You
a while.
almost completely forget
they're
it.
such a joke of a franchise, apart from probably the last 5 weeks. Before that, you're like, they're just...
Yeah, and even then they're going like 1 and 4.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they're 2 and 3.
This is their-
they're
oh,
2
they-
and 3 the last 5 weeks, but you forget that they had like maybe the best player of the last generation or last decade, take out Mahomes, on their roster.
So true. Seahawks and Cardinals, 30-18. The Seahawks.
I just wanted to mention about the Eagles receivers post-game comments, both of them.
All right, scrap that intro. Go back to the last
Not
one.
happy. AJ Brown not happy about the passing game. Devonta Smith also not happy with the passing game, that both is too run heavy at the moment.
Oh, well, so what? You got the best running back playing the best season ever by running back. How about you suck it up, AJ Brown? How often does this guy complain?
Man,
How
they're
much
sooks.
does he
They
suck?
don't care if they win or lose. They care about their individual performance.
Devonta Smith doesn't normally do that, so now he's doing it too, is he?
Well, he wasn't quite as...
Did he say anything?
He wasn't quite as vocal.
You just
on
was it
it.
more-
lumped him in
No,
with
no,
AJ
he
Brown?
wasn't.
Was it
happy
more the
with
question?
pass offense.
Was it the question that led to that answer, or did he bring it up?
Good point. Good point. We do need to be fair.
It was, may have had a question.
So, because I feel like Antonio
What was it?
Brown,
Hang on.
Antonio Brown, AJ Brown would have brought it up and made sure everyone.
Okay, well, what was the context, Dos? Because I've just teed off on AJ Brown based on intel from my trusted lieutenant.
All
I think
let me
AJ
get the,
Brown.
Let me get the quotes for
I
you
think
post-game.
AJ Brown would bring it up, whereas I think Smith, it would be a question asked towards him, and he would just wouldn't answer it.
We're about to find out. Do you want me to do Seahawks Cardinals, Dos?
Yeah,
while you
let's do it.
find that?
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So his frustration, despite he was not happy after the game, speaking to reporters by his locker, Brown was asked about the performance of the offense and what needs to improve in the coming weeks.
Yep.
And he said passing.
That's it. He said passing. Okay.
He said passing.
That's not a good answer.
Says everything is fixable. Slammed his helmet out of frustration after that 3 and out, and added that it was incredibly tough to get into a rhythm when the Eagles' offense is so run focused.
Okay. What is he doing?
Imagine your offensive line and Saquon hearing that. All the hard work, all the defensive line, everything we've been blocking for, Saquon on a record-setting season.
But no, AJ wants 3 more targets a game.
Brown doesn't care because what are they, like 10 and 3
Yeah, they've
or
won
something?
9 in a row.
Won 9
They're
in a row.
11 and 2.
11 and 2 and he's
Now let's
complaining.
change it up. Let's change it up. What is he on about?
Hey, get rid of him.
Okay.
But to be fair, the passing game for the Eagles has been pretty inconsistent this season. Like it has not been the strength of their...
But it doesn't have to
Game
be
at
because
all.
the run game's a strength and they're winning.
Yeah, I guess when you've got 2 top 10 paid wide receivers though sitting there, they're only getting 4.
But if you're
four,
losing,
AJ
though,
Brown's only getting 4 targets for 43 yards.
but you're winning, Dos. See, if they're losing, if they've gone through this patch at 5 and 4, then yeah, okay, that needs to be fixed. But they're 9-0 the last 9. Is that?
Yeah.
They've won the
9-0.
last 9, so there's nothing to complain about at all.
And Hurts went 14-21, 108 yards. It's obviously not much, but 2 TDs. They still won.
But who cares? They
Yeah.
won.
No, I
Yeah,
I'm,
and
I
that's
agree.
what I'm arguing with the wide receivers that are not going to listen to our podcast.
All right, we'll try and get AJ on the show next week.
Next
We
week
can settle it.
though,
What?
Battle of Pennsylvania, Philly versus Pittsburgh,
Oh,
interconference.
enjoy your passing offense then, AJ Brown. Have fun with that.
Yeah.
Seahawks 30 beat the Cardinals 18. The Seahawks 8-5. The Cardinals 6-7. And the NFC West took another twist today with a professional 5th win in a row. 5 wins in a row for the Seahawks. Dos.
Rolling along.
I almost stumbled over that. I just can't quite believe it. The Cards, they were stung early by 2 first-quarter Kyler Murray interceptions. They also used all their timeouts with 5 minutes to go, Dos, which was Really weird. How did they get themselves into that situation? How bizarre is that? Zach Charbonnet was the star.
Coach probably went, time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
Mhm.
Ah, cool.
Maybe a player.
Four
QB
wins
can
in a
do it.
row, Curt.
4.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
4
that's
in a
still
row.
pretty good. Zach Charbonnet, he was the star today for the Seahawks. 183 scrimmage yards, 2 TDs in the absence of Kenny Walker, who's out injured. JSN scored again. Kobe Bryant had another strong game on defense, Doss. And as for the Cardinals, they will rue giving up the early lead, turning the ball over, missing a crucial field goal, and as I said, burning their timeouts with 5 minutes to go in the game.
Jackson Smith and Jigba, Mr. Consistent,
He's come good. hasn't
Mr.
he, this year?
Reliable. He's 4th in receiving yards, 6th in receptions, and 5th in yards after the catch at the moment.
He's having a really
People gave up too early.
well.
Well, hold on, because I went back through a few of our episodes and our futures, and I had him for most improved player this year.
Right, I wondered why he wedged in the JSN fact.
Yeah, because he doesn't usually like the offensive plays, but I usually jump straight into someone like a JSN.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
And
talk
I was
defense in a minute.
ready to talk about him, but Dos took over straight off the bat. But he was one that he was obviously first rounder, drafted early in that group of 4 wide receivers that went in the mid-20s. He was never going to have a prolific first year because
Not
he was
with
sitting
Metcalf
behind
and Lockett,
DK
yeah.
and Lockett. So it was always DK is going to be there for a while, but Lockett was the one I think they were waiting to leave or slow down, and then JSN takes over, and then JSN and DK become that really nice dynamic duo. And now that's happened. JSN's come through, and he's on track for 1,200 yards, 7 TDs. Next year, I think we'll see a little uptick again. So he's turned into a good little draft pick.
He has. We all liked him, right? I think we were all on the JSN train.
Yeah, we're always on him. We're just waiting. He just had to wait his turn, really.
All right, talk defense, Doss.
Well, I
I'll be
mentioned.
back in a minute, fellas.
Oh, no, I mentioned Seattle. They made those linebacker changes around the trade deadline, Curt.
Yep.
And since then, they're undefeated. Now, Mike McDonald has done a great job because they'd lost 5 of 6 through that first sort of half of the season. There was a Giants loss in there, if you remember.
Yikes.
And now you've got Leonard Williams playing at an all-pro level. We had another very good game today. Rick Woolen, Devin Witherspoon for a corner just causes carnage because he comes up and he blitzes as well, and he's such an awesome defender. And I just like...
It was a great pick. They went
Yeah.
earlier than most people thought in that pick, but they nailed it.
Yeah, and he looks excellent. And it's great for the Seahawks. It's a big divisional win. Well, they got to finish. They got the Packers this week. Big game. I think that's a Sunday night football game.
Cardinals cooked?
And, well, I think so, because just looking at it, that's their 3rd straight game, 2nd in 3 weeks versus Seahawks. And I'm not sure what's happened to Kyler since the bye week, because he came in hot, 4-game win streak, bye week. He's thrown 3 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. And in the 10 games prior to that, he'd only thrown 3 picks. And he's taken 8 sacks in the last 3 weeks. So,
And you look, probably 5, 6, 7 weeks ago, you would look at their last 4 games and say, all right, Patriots, that's a win. Panthers, that's a win. Rams, they're not in great nick either. That's probably a win. 49ers, they're struggling. That's a win. But now you look at it and you think, Patriots with Drake, they're showing a little bit. It's probably still a win, but they're showing a bit more. Panthers, Bryce is starting to get together. They are due for a win, whether or not it comes soon or not. The Rams playing pretty well. 49ers put up some big points today and played really well. So I don't think the Cardinals are a chance to make the playoffs anymore. I think we can probably write them off.
And there's another team that surpassed them, and we'll get to them in a second. But before that, the 49ers beat the Bears in San Francisco 38-16. They're 6-7. The Bears are 4-9. With less than 2 minutes to go in the first half, the 49ers had 320 yards. The Bears had 2.
yeah.
Brock had a good
The
game.
The Bears were -5 yards passing at that point, 7 yards rushing, and a total of 0.1 yards per play. 0.1 yards per play for a 24-0 deficit that probably should have been even more, Doss.
We thought last week was bad for the Bears in the first half against the Lions when I think they had 40 yards, and most of that was in the final drive before halftime. This was even worse.
Shane Waldron would be having celebratory beers on his couch watching this.
It would be.
Turns out I wasn't the problem. Chicago, they did greatly improve in the second half, though, to a point where Caleb Williams' box score does actually look okay, but the damage was done early with Purdy. George Kittle went off 151 yards. Rookie 3rd-string running back picked up where CMC and Jordan Mason left off. That's Isaac Garendo, of
Wasn't
course.
he a
was
fourth
very,
string?
very good.
You got
String.
Elijah Mitchell in there.
Oh,
Did
yeah,
you
true. Yeah, forgot about Mitchell. Wow. But then Patrick Taylor, the 5th string, had to play today because
he went
Garendo
off.
sprained his
How many-
foot at
How
the
many
end. So
strings are there? Because if Isaac misses next week and then Patrick, for some reason, hurts himself.
I don't know.
They have
How
another
long is a
string.
piece of string, Hawley? It's the eternal question.
Get fullbacks in.
Yeah, use check.
Use check. What's he doing?
Well, whatever string Garendo is, he did a good job today. So they'll be worried about that foot sprain. So will millions of fantasy players around the world because, he saved a lot of teams
Yours
today.
truly, right there.
Yours truly means
You.
yourself.
Yeah, I know, but I was pointing at you, so I kind of.
So you
tried
can
to
say
make
the
it
wrong
yours
thing.
Just be
truly.
careful. Hey, you fine him for that?
What?
Hawley's just done. Hawley's just done the.
Oh, with the jeez,
gun.
how's Doss throwing out
You went-
the finger?
Yeah, but that's that way though. I went inside.
You did the single finger like
He
that.
didn't do it, did he?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't do that.
I have to
No,
review
you did
the
the
tape.
one. You
Oh,
did
did I
the
do
single.
that
mate,
way?
it's on tape.
Did I
Oh no, it's not. Your finger's not in the.
Oh,
The
I
view.
thought I ran out of storage again.
no, not yet.
Surely not. I've got a gig and a half free on there. Yes, but it's very interesting. I mean, I did trade for him and was loving life for 3.9
I thought it
quarters.
was a move of the year, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden I read that he walked off. Or he went to the
He
locker
walked
room.
off. He looked a bit ginger, but
Foot sprain. They
who knows?
think. What's
that bad?
How
What's
bad's-
that?
Who knows?
Give me some hope, Hawley.
Surely it's okay.
Juwan Jennings popping up
He did. Yeah, he does that every now and then, like about once a month.
about every 10 weeks.
Yeah, every 10 weeks. It's 2 more touchdowns. But Caleb, you said sacks. We're talking about sacks. What was that with Murray? I think it was with Murray.
Sacks.
Caleb Williams, most sacks
Mm.
of the season. He hit the half century today, 5 more times sacked today. And then Purdy got hurt in
I got 7
the fourth
here.
quarter. 7?
Yeah, I think it was 7
Yeah.
sacks.
Oh, wow. Okay. I wrote these notes slightly early, so I just assumed that maybe they could hold out for 2 minutes to finish, but evidently he got
Yatua
sacked
Gross
twice more.
Matos.
Oh, he ended with 3.
With 3 of them.
Yeah, it's piling
And
them up.
then my man Lenny Floyd.
Can you say
with a couple.
Yatua again?
Did I not say it right?
That was perfect. Say the
it
whole
was
name again.
kind of-
I like the roll and
It was kind
gross.
of hot.
Oh, I don't want to say it again in case I mess
right.
it up.
Okay, yeah. Don't want to ruin your perfect
No,
streak.
that's right.
Anything more on Bears 49ers?
Purdy looked really good.
He did.
Is that right?
Well, he looks good because he's a bit warmer out in Sanf. Didn't look too good in the cold in Buffalo last.
That must be what it is. What about their break? Did they have a good break?
Well, they're back
Days
home.
off. Makes a
The
difference.
Bears had a longer break because they're coming off Thanksgiving.
That's
But the
surprising.
Bears winless on the road, 0-6 this season.
Well, the Bears will look to the offensive line, free agency, and then draft.
You'd
Oh,
flip and hope so.
Must.
I think that's a big difference, right? Oh, we all agree.
Do you
If they sort that out, then next year has to be the year with the weapons they have. Maybe we overlook that a little bit this year.
Who knows? I'm
even
sick of
think- I
laughing
don't
at
even
Bears.
think it next year. What? I don't even think next year's the year.
All right, let's move on from
what
this.
type of
Anyway.
year, what type of year you talking? Like just playoffs?
Playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to win the Super Bowl.
Bills and Rams. What a game. The Rams 44, Bills 42. Rams 7-6. What a huge win for them. The Bills are 10-3. It was an amazing game, although it did have a bit of a fizzer ending, Doss. But it's a massive win for the Rams.
Junk
nonetheless.
time stats for Josh Allen.
It was not junk time. He became the first. Well, we thought the first ever player, but became second player.
First
was
in
it?
regular season.
First in regular
Ah.
season to throw 3 touchdown passes and rush 3 touchdowns. It was another incredible performance, but this time it did not yield a win, boys, in part due to a late decision from Sean McDermott to run the ball, Doss, which kept, the clock running, and they had to burn a timeout.
Well, him or Joe Brady, I'm not sure who made the call.
Are you about to?
Who you firing?
Fire
Who you
up
firing
about-
today,
Well,
Well,
Doc?
I'm not firing anyone because Joe
no, but are you
Brady's had a
firing
very
up-
good
Are you
season.
firing up about play calling?
Well, I am here, yes.
Okay, is it fair to say you're not going to take it anymore?
Oh, you want
Go
to play
on.
your stinger?
Doss ain't gonna take it. No, he ain't gonna take it. Doss ain't gonna take it anymore.
All right, Doss.
That happened so naturally as well. So organic. It wasn't
Seamless.
set up. Or...
Yeah.
Mate,
Right?
I even queued him up on text message before, and he plays dumb.
Did you?
He knew about that.
And he's still
Well,
he
seemed
was- had his
completely
finger-
oblivious.
He had his
Mate,
finger on the button.
Mate, when
there.
Doss is in the zone, he's in the zone. He doesn't need. Yeah, there's no point in trying to set any of that kind of stuff up.
All right. Go on, Doss. Fire up our Sean
Look,
McDermott's play call.
They've
Cost
got
them.
they've got a QB sneak on the 1 yard line. They've got all their timeouts, but they need 2 scores, Hawley. So, not a lot of time left in the game. If you do fall short, you've got to burn a timeout, which is what happened. You should be throwing it in there, okay? I understand you've got Josh Allen. They have converted this play a lot this season, so I get the logic behind that then, but I just think the situation of the game, not converted, but also, even when they didn't convert it, let's just get up quickly and let's just try it again
I gotta
rather than
say,
burn the time. Because if you
he's
burn
got a
the
point.
timeout, Hawley,
He's got a good point.
you're going to try and get the onside kick.
Yeah.
Because you're cooked.
No, absolutely, I
Um,
absolutely agreed. Yeah. It's one of those ones where they
Solo.
roll with the unexpected play, hoping that it catches the defense off guard, right? They're expecting, oh, well, you're obviously going to throw it here because of the clock management. Then they think, no, we're going to rush it. But then it doesn't work out and it makes you look like an idiot. Whereas if it works, then we're singing his praises.
We were bagging Tom Brady for his calling and his voice. It was just
Oh, his
obviously
commentary
cool.
was bad
Stop.
today.
Don't bag Tom ever again.
No, I'll keep doing it. But that point that he made, it was actually a good one. That was the best bit of commentary I've heard him say because he did illuminate the game situation for all the fans and make us realize, oh, wait, yeah. Because you wouldn't pick up on that really unless you were an avid follower of the game. So that was good from Brady. I'll give him his flowers there. There were some defensive penalties late with the Rams. They started to look shaky, so they got bailed out by that play call in the end. But there were a few nice connections. Allen to Shakir was working beautifully. Stafford did play pretty well again.
Just Allen to anyone.
Stafford
Matt Collins.
Stafford was awesome.
Yeah,
23 of 30.
Yeah,
320
320.
TDs. He was tidy. He didn't have a fumble in. There's no turnovers.
No, he was good. He was good. He's so up and down, Stafford.
First game, you were like this since your 1965 Chiefs, Curt, and Broncos,
Love those guys.
with 5 passing touchdowns, 5 rushing touchdowns, and no turnovers
In the game.
in a game.
That's cool.
wow.
Does
Not many
boy-
defensive votes in this one.
No,
Are you boys giving Josh 5 votes for today's game?
no sacks allowed either from either
I
team.
knew you would bring this up because they didn't win, but it just shows you
I think he was best on ground by a
Yes.
country mile.
he was clearly.
But you guys have your rule of if they don't win, then they don't deserve the 5 votes, right?
No, that's 100% wrong, and you know that that's
I
incorrect.
think
Oh, it
Josh
just seems
Allen
like
did
that's the way
everything
we
he
go.
could to
Oh,
make
so you
them
misunderstood
win.
it again, Hawley.
But they,
Still
but
don't
they
understand
lost,
it, Hawley.
But they
Still-
lost.
still-
I might go back through all the Joe Burrow
still
games,
don't
the ones where they've
understand it.
lost but put up 30, 35 points if you guys get
And
any
he's got
best on.
votes in him.
Yeah.
Best on?
I think
Yeah, he has.
I think he's actually
I'll have to go
supporting
through.
our system with this argument. Dos.
I reckon one of the
Do you think he's got this
No,
argument?
that's what I
wrong?
said.
one of
I'll
the ones
go
against
through and have a look.
Baltimore, I think he did.
I'm not arguing. I just asked the question.
But Josh Allen also didn't have a turnover. Burrow threw interceptions and had turnovers in a couple of those games as well. Josh Allen didn't
So
have a
did
turnover today.
Anthony Richardson threw a few turnovers last week.
He did.
Yeah. Probably shouldn't be in the votes.
Don't know if you noticed, Chris, but some games are a little different to other games. There are some games where hardly anyone does anything good, so it's a bit easier to get some votes. There's other games where there's 86 points on display.
Exactly. So there's heaps of guys to take votes off of Josh Allen.
Yeah,
today's
but when
game.
one guy contributes 6 of those touchdowns,
They
it's
did
pretty hard
lose
to
though,
pass
didn't
them.
they?
They did, but as I said, some games are different to others, aren't they? Yeah.
They did lose.
Maybe if you watch more than
Everyone's
one a
the
week, you
Super
might
Bowl.
know that, Chris.
Super Bowl, does Josh Allen win the MVP? This is a genuine question.
Ooh, that's a good question.
No, because it always goes to the winning.
So why will you guys give him 5 votes?
Because we're not voting on the Super Bowl.
'Cause
It's
we're
not
not
the
the
Super Bowl
Associated
MVP.
Press.
Yeah, we can do what we want. It's the Outback QB.
Mate, Super Bowls.
Do you want to work for the NFL? Do you want to go and join them? Because if
What do you mean? Of
if-
course I do. Why wouldn't I?
Oh, he's just throwing that in.
That hurts. Would you?
Well, you
work-
asked me if I want to stay in Adelaide and paint houses, and
No, I'm asking you if you.
or I want to go and work for the NFL.
Yeah, what would you do though? What's your job at the NFL?
I couldn't care less. I live in
You couldn't
America.
care
I
less?
work for the
You
NFL.
couldn't. I think you could care less.
I'd be the assistant to Mike North.
Yes, you can. Oh, okay. Genuine
Executive
question.
Okay,
VP
go.
of
All right.
Broadcasting.
So you don't know the job, but in this scenario, you have just like taken it hook, line and sinker. So
Yeah.
you've just told me that more than anything you want to work for
Yeah,
the
and
NFL,
they're
right?
creating a job.
But now, Doss is the assistant to Mike North. You have to then go and be Doss's assistant at the NFL. Would you do
Yeah,
that?
you're my direct report.
I'm below DOS.
Yeah.
He's your boss.
I think I'd still do it. I get to hang out with DOS every day. It'd be fun.
I give you a title, project analyst.
And I would
That's then in brackets, lackey.
I would spread rumors about DOS around the office until
Oh, like
he
you do
quits.
about me.
Like bully him. Like I'd tell him. I'd say to everyone.
Bully
Like,
him.
I'd spread rumors like
He would too.
Hey, do you
He
guys
does
hear?
here.
Do you guys hear that DOS doesn't wear jocks? And they're like, what? How do you know?
Does it smell like socks in Doss's office or what?
Sitting there with
little
Kurt's
things
protein
like that.
yogurt.
Or I'd bring up, the perm that you used to get with your mum.
Yeah.
There's little bits and pieces. Until I'm promoted and I'm your equal, then we're back on par.
He wonders why sometimes he has issues with staff at his business. And he just says to us, if I worked for Doss, I would spread rumors and bully him.
I had one of my boys called in sick again today for I think the 3rd time, and
I will ask this again just before we go there. Do you definitely want to talk about this on the pod?
yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
He called in sick. He was vomiting again, 3rd time in 6 weeks on a Monday morning that he's been vomiting all night. Yeah, I didn't
Could
reply.
be eating something ordinary on a Sunday night. I
Maybe
think.
it's that
I think
yogurt.
That's what it is. If he's eating that, well, it's yogurt, then I understand it.
All right, that was Rams versus Bills in LA. Anything more on this? Cup 92 and 1. Nakua was huge, 162 yards. TD got hurt.
178 and 2.
Oh my gosh, I got
Well, he had
doing my game reviews
16 rushing yards.
Oh, you counted those. Okay, fair enough. And Khalil Shakir 106 and 1.
Rams converted 11 of 15 on third down today.
11 of 15. That's a good day.
That's a very good day.
Make a stop, Bills.
And also,
77, what's that, like 78%?
and also, can we talk about
80% probably.
Hawley?
It's actually 80%.
4th and 5 for the Rams.
Sure.
No call on the false start. Clear jump,
Mm.
which would have made it 4th and 10.
Mm. We're not allowed to talk about that on this podcast.
You can talk about it. Yeah, they missed
Well, we
it.
should. Yeah, that was a
the refs
missed call.
missed
A
it.
bad missed call at a bad time because, that was a conversion to Tutu Atwell, which
If that was
kept the
if that
drive
was
going. Game-winning touchdown.
If that was a Chiefs game, then we would just,
well.
just what happens, isn't it? But for it to happen to Rams and Bills games, odd.
Yeah, I wasn't happy.
It's weird that you guys keep pushing this narrative about me and the Chiefs when I've said multiple times on the pod that I really don't care that much. I said
you don't
I'm
care about the
Notice
ambivalent.
him wear his cap
So
this week.
he doesn't even care about the Chiefs.
No, he
Like,
does.
what kind of bandwagon? I'm confused.
I'm looking for
No.
some
Do you
no.
go for the
merch.
Chiefs or
No,
not?
you see, a bandwagoner would pretend that they really care. If I'm honest and I say I'm ambivalent and my life is really not affected if they win or lose, I'd prefer them to win, of
That's
course.
a lie because I have video footage of you in the Super Bowl
Oh,
last
yeah.
year.
I can enjoy them winning.
Very,
Pacing.
very, very nervous pacing
Pacing
around
back and forth.
the old Cluggus Arena or the
Cluggus- no.
downstairs of Cluggus Arena.
Is that Cluggus or HPB?
Well, it wasn't
Oh,
HPB for
downstairs
very
from-
long. I donated the money and then conveniently had a new
Lo- lost the naming
sponsor very
rights.
quickly after that.
No, Cluggus was original. Then it
Cluggus was
HPB.
original, then it was HPB.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I forgot about Cluggus until I listened back to our pilot episode the other day, Dos.
Good people out at
Great
Cluggus.
people.
Great. give him a pump up. Go on.
Cluggus. Cluggus.com.au probably. I don't know.
Hall painting and building.
.com.au.
0415748
Giving out his personal
All
phone
your
number on the
painting.
pod.
Well, that's.
Well, you're on Instagram.
I have not posted
It's
in
not
5
active.
years,
Yeah,
and I've
it's not
posted 4
active.
times. But you can follow me if you want.
Watch
Hall-
the
Hall painting,
followers
building.
just latch on.
All right, boys, we're
Hallstar
going to
12. That's my personal Instagram.
We're
Or
gonna
is it
run out of
Hallstar
memory.
10? I'm not sure.
I'm going to go through this. Chargers, Chiefs. Do you even want to talk about this, or have you complained enough about them winning? They won 19-17. They're 12-1. Chargers 8-5. They sealed the division. That's 9 in a row, Dos. Goodness me, that's
Fantastic.
extraordinary.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was going.
you know what? You guys are gonna look
I
back.
was rooting hard for the Chargers to win this game. I'll give you the tip.
You know what? There's a whole generation of fans that have not appreciated the greats of games and greats of sports. You guys are going to look back at Mahomes and the Chiefs, and I think you're going to wish you didn't just whinge and moan through the whole thing.
Untrue, because this is probably the first time I've whinged about them ever since we've done the pod.
I agree. They've always been like the last few years. They've been the best team. They've smoked teams. They've easily been, they've been very, very good and probably the elite of the NFL. Whereas this year they're not. Their stats aren't adding up. They're just each week they're finding a way to win, which good teams do. They find a way to win, but the ways they are winning is
we
is
know,
not
lucky, etc.
Yeah, it's lucky and. Well, that's low battery this time.
Okay,
No,
keep
no.
going.
So anyway, I'm looking back at their schedule. Browns, they'll beat them. Texans, they'll beat them because they just will. Steelers is the one. Steelers is the one.
That's a Christmas Day game.
in 3 weeks. Or it's Boxing Day.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Over here, Christmas Day
Yeah.
over there. Yeah, sorry. That's the one that can cause them a bit of trouble because they're coming up against an elite defense, an offense that can score points. We noticed that last week. Otherwise, they play the Broncos the week after, and Browns put up a fight. No good. Texans and Broncos will put up a fight and challenge them, but Chiefs will find a way to win that game.
So they'll be the
those
number
two
1
games.
seed.
Chiefs will be number 1 seed, but they'll lose to the Steelers on Christmas Day / Australia's.
Will the
Boxing
Chiefs
Day.
make the Super Bowl?
No.
Dos?
No, because I'm going to roll with the Bills.
Will the Chargers make the AFC Championship?
AFC Championship, Chargers.
No,
No,
I don't think they got the offensive.
they're just too
Oh.
they're too banged up at the moment.
And the
They
Steelers
still gave it a crack even without Ladd today,
and the
didn't they?
Steelers are winning the Super Bowl. Remember, guys.
Yeah, I know.
I tell you what, I mean,
I sort of agree.
Josh Palmer, Gus Edwards. Have a look at some of
Yeah,
these
yeah,
guys
yeah.
that Herbert was throwing to here today. Stone Smart, tight end. He's about a 4th string tight end, isn't he, Curt?
Oh, he's
Yeah.
not Stone Smart. He's a
Smart with 2 T's, if I recall
good
correctly.
tight end.
I mean,
Smart with 2 T. Can you imagine how he signs his mug, Dos? Hawley? If Dos with 1 T at the end goes around the whole thing twice, Smart must just start and keep going forever.
His signature is just STSTT.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Stone Smart.
Anything else on this game? Sorry, Chargers fans. We've sort of overlooked this one, but we assume
the
you're
Chargers
annoyed.
defense played well.
They did. Although we can't overlook either that the Chiefs did get off to a good start and actually hold the Chargers scoreless for a long time in
Well,
this
the first
one.
half.
First half was 13-0. So it's not like they completely fluked this game. They did have a pretty convincing lead in the first
Their
half.
offense just isn't putting up the points that they have in the past. And I think that's why we are
sure.
a bit low on them. But
Sure.
And the defense was good in the first half. But then, the Chargers came out after halftime and found a way. And it's not the first time that's happened this season against the Chiefs. It's happened the last few weeks.
the Chargers have struggled just a little bit without J.K. Dobbins. Their run game the last couple of weeks has been a little
Missed that dude.
down.
Yeah. Which,
Moment of silence for JK.
which is a shame.
Out of
And-
battery over there, Holly? Out of storage?
Out of storage.
All right, that's all right. Well,
We're done anyway.
you'll be done on YouTube for the last.
DOS just
20
won't be on
seconds.
YouTube for the last
Oh,
couple of
DOS,
minutes.
yeah. That's all right. Sorry, DOS.
That's cool.
If anyone watches to the hour 10 mark, you'll miss DOS ever so slightly. But hey, YouTube, that's a good reminder. Outback QB
Oh,
podcast.
you're
we
kidding.
are-
He's doing his striptease. And
Oh,
we've missed
of
it.
all times.
Of all times.
Wait.
Here we go. Let's get it off, boys.
Go, DOS. Oh, look at him go. Look at him go.
Oh, he's got big nipples. Sexy areolas.
All right, that's the show for another week. DOS, put your pants back on. We'll see you on Wednesday.
See you, everyone.
I hate you, boys.
Stevie in here, boys.
I love our listeners. I hate you two clowns.
Love you too, DOS. See you Wednesday.
Bye, guys.
DOS ain't gonna take it. No, he ain't gonna
I
take
can't believe nipples and areolas got mentioned on the. So good.
it anymore. The best of all the judges. He holds eternal grudges. He'll eat the rich and judge the poor. He'll judge your bad calling. He'll say when you're appalling. His name is DOS. Hear him roar. DOS ain't